founder and CEO of Franchise Playbook and co-founder and CEO of Voda Cleaning Restoration. So Franchise Playbook, as you already know, we're an incubator of home service brands. We create, own, and operate dynamic franchise brands. My background's been in franchising since 2014. I have a tremendous background in helping people become business owners and then lead generation and running a business. I took my background after exiting my previous business. I took my knowledge, background, and capital to go forward and start Franchise Playbook. In September, met my partner and good friend, Zach Nolte, who is the background in operations of running franchisors, specifically in the home services space. Zach not only was the president of a well-known kitchen remodeling business, but he also built a kitchen related business that he was able to exit to a platform of home service brands. And so together we bring a unique skill set to each other that we're able to complement our skills, mine in bringing in candidates and Zach and making sure they succeed. And together us doing that, of course. We went out and built Playbook. And as we decided on an industry, we knew we wanted to be in home services, and we knew that we wanted to find a space that was growing tremendously. So what did we do? We did a lot of market analysis, and we landed on restoration. Why restoration? Restoration is a $210 billion industry when you look at the aggregate industry. It's growing 5% year over year. I knew that outside of franchising, restoration was going through all kinds of roll-ups on the private equity side. There's a tremendous amount of institutional investors interested in the industry because it's extremely fragmented. A lot of the businesses are unsophisticated and unorganized and not branded well, and there needs to be consolidation in the space. If you think about $210 billion, it's literally 40% of the home services space is restoration. There's a quote or statistic from Home Advisor that home services is about a $500 million industry. Well, restoration, as they said, is 210. It's growing 5% year over year. Water mitigation, which is a very lucrative area and an area that we're focused a lot of our energy on, is a $17 billion industry. But Voda is a little bit different. We're the first only business that provides restoration and the carpet cleaning and floor cleaning business. Now, this is important. When we were exploring restoration, we loved the business, but there is a ramp up time to get into it. You need to build relationships with property managers and plumbers and insurance. And no matter what, they take some time to get paid, because while it's an amazing need, not want service, insurance pays it, but there is a lag. We wanted our franchisees to be able to be up and operational quickly within 30 to 90 days, to be able to build a predictable business from the ground up. So we wanted to, build a business that provided restoration and cleaning services. Why? The cleaning services get you into the home, providing you the ability to build trust with the homeowner and with the commercial property, allowing you to build more restoration work. So we're able to have this predictable, scalable revenue of cleaning, which is a very easy and very lucrative business on its own. There's plenty of carpet cleaning alone, standalone franchises, and have the restoration focus to grow those high margin, higher revenue average tickets of $2,700 per job. So we've got a $580 ticket average for cleaning, which you get paid on, quickly, and then a restoration business that you grow on top of your carpet cleaning core. And so that's how the founder of the business that we took a controlling interest in had started, which is another amazing story. So as we were exploring businesses, we knew we needed a business that, we could believe in the story and buy into the brand foundational origin. And so we met our founder of the original business, and this is like a brother to me at this point. We have grown so close as a company, as people, as families, because our DNA of who we want to be and what the kind of company we want to build is so similar. Our values are so intertwined around this obsession over the customer experience. So in September, I came across this business that we acquired the franchisor, and I feel like I was in the movie The Founder with Ray Kroc. Like, I went there and I couldn't believe the amount of systems. I was driving 5 hours every week back to the DC, Northern Virginia metro area, back and forth and back. I remember one time I drove there just to go to a bowling event that they were having with their team. And I think the founder thought I was a lunatic. And it might be him, because I was in love with the brand. And I said, we got to do this. It'll allow us to move forward. And thankfully, we aligned on making the acquisition. And just fell in love with the systems and the story. So the brand founder moved here from Serbia in 2005 with nothing, very little money, and an ability to speak even very much English. He started as a lifeguard and then got into security at a club and just worked jobs. After a few years of living here, he met someone in the carpet cleaning business who gave him an opportunity to work with him. And he spent the time working with that person who ended up saying, hey, I'm going back to Europe, run the business for me and we'll split the profits. And so he was able to essentially kind of act like a franchisee in the sense that he got to, work in the business, split the profits, but learn without making all the mistakes. Eventually that business ended up moving on, and he went on to start his own business with a truck in 2009. Partnered with his wife, an amazing woman and strategist behind the brand, previously an electrical engineer for the Pentagon, and a very successful 1% realtor now, when she's not taking care of their daughter. They built this business, the husband and wife founders, together from 2009, from one truck to a multi-truck empire. And it's just an amazing story. And the thing that really led me to this business was there was over 1,000. I remember one night I was up till like 4 a.m. I couldn't stop reading the Google reviews. There's over 1,000 5-star reviews, and it's just incredible. They figured out how to bottle and contain this process for providing an incredible customer experience. Just like when you go to Starbucks, you go for the experience, not for the coffee. Well, here you're getting the experience and an amazing cleaning and restoration service. So we started the deal in September, made the acquisition, in October, went through a period of time. We made the acquisition in February and began this franchise entity. What's amazing is we also partnered with a nationally recognized branding agency that works with companies like Home Depot and Target and companies like this. And we somehow were able to convince them to work with us, even though they work mostly with Fortune 500 businesses. They saw the vision that we were putting forward. And we went and made sure, utilizing psychographic and demographic data, the agency was able to put together a brand that we knew would stand out in the minds and hearts of the average consumer that we're targeting in the restoration and cleaning space. And if you look at a lot of the brands in restoration, great brands, and I'm talking about the mom and pops and franchising as well. But if you look, the branding's a little bit antiquated. And so we wanted to build a brand that really appealed to the homeowner of today. People like myself, people like you, that, the average age homeowner who wants to have a cleaning and restoration service that they can trust, that comes to their home, that they can fully trust in their home. And so we built Voda, which also, by the way, it's an incredible word, stands out. If you see the design of our trucks, it's a beautiful, beautiful design that's going to turn your neighbor's head when they come down the street. But the word pays homage to the Serbian roots that this business is built in. Voda means water in Serbian. And to me, water is such an incredible thing to think about. It's our friend and our foe, right? Without it, we can't live, and there's times where it's catastrophic. Water represents purity and cleanliness and this new level of clean that we want to instill, this new level of franchise. But water is also the thing that our customers need to solve. And so Voda is just this eclectic name that really stands out when it fits into the branding. And so after establishing that brand, we went out, we put together a lot of infrastructure. I've invested a tremendous amount of capital into making sure this business was ready from day one. I believe we have more systems than some 500 location brands. And between myself and the executive leadership team, we come into this business with over 50 years of combined franchise experience across 17 brands. And so, what we did was we set out and excuse me, a lot of talking, but we set out and we wanted to make sure every single tool in the toolbox of business was thought through and created for our franchisees. Now, listen, there are tools in the toolbox. You have to use the tools, but we wanted to set up as much interference or running interference for our franchisees as much as possible, blocking and tackling the day-to-day challenges of running a business. So how do we do that? One, lead generation. We have a tremendous lead generation machine between myself and our CMO, Christian Betancourt, who's been part of brands as large as Anytime Fitness with over 5,000 locations to brands as iconic as Mayweather Boxing and mobile service brands like Centown. Between Christian's knowledge and mine, Christian's won awards in the lead generation space. We set out to build a lead generation and marketing machine for our franchisees. I like to think, because of my background in lead generation, we're a lead generation company that happens to sell cleaning and restoration. So what we do is we focus on helping make the phone ring for our franchisees. Number two is we've set up a call center that is able to answer the phone when it rings 24/7, 7 days a week. We want to take that off the plate of the franchisees. So when our branding goes through the market and the phone rings and someone calls in, that phone call is answered 24/7, 7 days a week through a call center. The third thing that we wanted to make sure that we took care of was the actual sourcing, the actual data aggregation and KPI reporting. And so when it comes to technology, we really wanted to build a proprietary technology stack that was best in class and leading. And fortunately, between myself and a team that's very tech focused, forward thinking, we were able to build that technology package. But an area that I was so impressed for us to have built was this need, and we're finishing building it now, but it's completely underway, was this need for data analytics to be much more dialed in. And so we built that playbook, a proprietary system called Scoreboard, which is a data analytics tool built by a previous Google engineer that's able to track every KPI a franchisee can think of, from a human standpoint to financial to marketing spend to just average job. Every KPI is built within our data analytics so that it's all dialed in for them to be able to zero in on. As for us, we wanted to build this business to really take all these tools. So when you think about the branded truck driving through your neighborhood, your phone ringing off the hook because of hopefully, phone's ringing off the hook, and the lead generation is working. And the phone, when it rings, it's answered by a live agent 24/7 here in the US, booking appointments. So you can then send your crew to go do the job. Now, remember, it's 2 to 3 employees are operational in 30 to 90 days. It's a simple business, very scalable. It's a non-licensed labor. You don't need someone. Yes, with mold in certain states, you need some license, and we help you with that. But overall, you can hire on a smile, you can hire an attitude and train people. We teach you how to train for the cleaning and restoration work. Now, let's get into the financials. All out in item 7 investments, 148 to 196. All in. Which under 150, able to do an SBA express loan, etc. We also encourage 401k rollovers. We're able to roll over your retirement tax deferred penalty free. Our item 19 in the flagship location shows 1.745 in gross sales, 1,745,000, give or take. A gross margin of 62%. The item 19 shows a net margin of 32%. Restoration cleaning, amazing margins shown in the item 19 of the flagship location. Now, of course, that's one location. This is, you can't go into a business saying, I'm going to do 1.7 like that. You have to understand that it's a new business. But when you look at the restoration industry, there's actually about 27% of restoration businesses in 2021. I don't have the data for 2022 yet, but for 2021, 27% was over $1 million in revenue. 18% was over 5 million, and 9% was over 20 million. Like the industry as an aggregate is a really strong industry. Go, and I encourage you to look into that. But you can see it in other restoration businesses, and you can see it reflected in our item 19 for our corporate location. But I always express to people, you want to get into an emerging brand, it's a different person. You got to be willing to be early, to be part of it. But it's interesting. We launched yesterday, and launched yesterday to like a private network of my network and more local network, and we had 5 candidates reach out. And I was mapping out someone's territory last night just for the fun of it. And I mean, we're talking about like Mahwah, New Jersey. If you're from New Jersey, think of Mahwah, Ridgewood, like Alpine, Gloucester. I mean, where can you get that territory in a franchise opportunity unless it's emerging? And so I'm so excited for the early franchisees that are going to get this prime territory that's available. We're going to grow fast. Like, my background is in lead generation and finding franchisees. I have a tremendous audience. I don't mean that to brag. I'm saying my following for a decade has been around helping people. I've helped over 1,000 people directly and indirectly become a business owner. So I'm confident we're going to award territories across the nation. But I'm excited for the people that jump in and get in those early territories, those prime territories. Because frankly, you have the support of, like I said, a 50-unit location. We have the support built. We built it for 1,000 franchisees for the first one. And if you're ever cautious about being a first franchisee, what I can tell you, whether it's my brand or another brand, I don't think you get better support than being the first few. You have unfettered access to me and my team. You have us, very much needing and wanting you to succeed, because without you, how can we continue to grow and sell franchises and award territories and build up, a royalty business, right? So I actually think it's an amazing journey to jump in on the ground level with the franchise brand and get that early support, and frankly, be the franchisee number one and assist them a few years from now, because you can never take that away from franchisee number one through 15, or what I call the starting lineup, or the early roster. A couple other quick things I want to talk about, and then I'd love to talk more on a phone call. Every single element that you could think of. How do I find people? How do I hire? We have our talent scout process, which through a third party, we're able to help with recruiting. If you think about, I want to manage this business, manage a manager. Now, I always clarify, I don't believe in semi-absentee unless you have a tremendous background in business or a tremendous management team. I like the term manage a manager, because to me, even semi-absentee means getting out there, like shaking hands, building relationships with property managers and plumbers, doing something to grow the business and move it forward. If you're not able to do that, then, I don't know. I think that manage the manager is a better term. We want a manager inside the business that's able to do the day-to-day, which means we're meeting with the crew and the team and getting the sales team up and running and getting everyone working. And you as the owner should be out there networking with property managers and plumbers and pumping up your team and checking on some back-end reports. Now, what we do encourage is, if you're going to join our brand with a manage the manager approach, we do encourage that manager, we can't tell you what to do, and it's your employee, but we highly and strongly encourage that you find a manager with a decent salary and equity in the business that scales over time, typically a third over 3 years, up to a certain cap. You want to have a manager who has a vested interest. I know for me, I've never run a business so that having teammates on the executive level have a true ownership in the business, so that I don't have to worry that other teammates are committed to and aligned to the success of the business. So we would teach you how to structure something like that. Very excited to chat. I can go on and on about this topic. We've been building this business for 7 months. It's been in business for 13 years, and I can't wait to talk more about it.